Welcome back to everyone who's watching Mamarka Kasao TV. You're going to be with me, Princess Mudisha. And let's start with the news headlines. Rwanda condemns Israel strike in Doha. Government to phase out the harmful refrigerant gases within the 5 years. And international scene, Russia Belarus start the Zapad 2025 drills, putting NATO on the edge after the Poland drone raid. Let's take a short break to be back into the news details. Let's start our news here in Rwanda, where the government of Rwanda has condemned Israel-led strike in Doha, Qatar, which targeted Hamas leaders, giving it the meeting on the U.S. proposed Gaza ceasefire. At least 7 people were killed in the attack, including 2 Qatar security officers, according to the Doha authorities. In an official statement on Thursday, September 11, 2025, Rwanda expressed its condolence to the state of Qatar and the families of the deceased. Through the Office of Government spokesperson, Kigali sharply criticized the international community for what it termed as an inaction in the face of escalating violence. Recognizing Qatar's mediation role in Great Lakes region and beyond, Rwanda emphasized that such efforts melt universal appreciation and gratitude rather than violence. The government also argued principled, pragmatic, and swift resolution to the ongoing conflict in the region. Qatar's Prime Minister Sheikh Mohammed bin Abdul Al had earlier described the Tuesday attack as a state terrorism and called for collective response from the region, warning that the entire Gulf region is at risk. The Qatar government also condemned Israel's threats of future attacks and highlighted its ongoing mediation efforts, which include hosting Hamas officials at the request of the United States and Israel. This aggressive strategy is not limited to Hamas alone. Israel has also conducted strikes in other countries such as Lebanon, Syria, Yemen, against groups it considers to expose of Iran, including Hezbollah and Houthi. Turning to our next story, earlier yesterday, PS Clementine Mukeka, together with PS Tony Kajangwe, Ministry of Trade and Industry, the U.S. Ambassador to Rwanda, A. Kennedy, co-chaired a roundtable discussion on the region economic integration framework. The meeting provided an opportunity for members of diplomatic corps in Rwanda to exchange perspective on advancing regional trade and economic cooperation. Now let's turn our focus to this story, where the government of Rwanda has committed to phasing out harmful refrigerant gases within the next 5 years, citing their damage to both the ozone layer and the climate. These gases, notably hydrofluorocarbons, are commonly used in refrigeration and air conditioning system. Rwanda is aligning with this plan with international agreements like Kigali Amendment, which aims to gradually reduce the HFC use globally. The phase-out includes restricting the importation of new appliances that use the gases and encouraging shifts to more environmental-friendly cooling technologies. Efforts will also involve updating regulation and standards in the cooling sector, promoting alternatives with lower global warming potential, and raising public awareness about dangerous refrigerant. These steps are expected to reduce Rwanda's emissions, help protect healthy, save energy, and support the country's climate goals. Let's take a short break to be back into the international news.
Welcome to Alba Supply, where all the magic happens right here in Rwanda. We create clothes that are stylish and comfortable for both women and men. Look around. This is exactly where everything is made. From shirts to t-shirts, suits, trousers, you name it, whatever you need, we got you. Every stitch, every cut is made right here. Alba Supply is all about Rwandan creativity and quality. Comfortable, classy, and of course, proudly made in Rwanda.
Welcome back to the international news. Let's start international news on African news, where South Sudan First Vice President The Kamashak faces charges of treason and other serious crimes, local justice authorities said Thursday, as fears grow as the East African country could be edging toward the return of the civil war. And international news, Russia and its key ally started major joint military drills on Friday, putting NATO on the 8 days after Poland accused Moscow of escalating tensions by firing attacks drones through its airspace. Kamikaze Giselle proceeds.
On the international news, let's start in South Africa, where an iconic investigation is about to be reopened into the assassination of anti-apartheid activist Steve Biko 48 years after his death, killed by police while in custody. The investigation resumes this Friday, September 12, 2025. An event made possible by the fight of his family, but also more broadly by a wave of reopenings of cases wanted by President Cyril Ramaphosa since he came to power in 2018 for better justice for apartheid crimes. Preceding South Sudan's first Vice President Riek Machar has been charged with treason and other several crimes, raising fears of renewed conflict in the fragile nation. Justice authorities on Thursday accused Machar and 7 others of orchestrating a deadly March attack in Nassau, Upper Nile State, where a militia known as the White Army overran government troops, killing the commanding officer. The charges include murder, terrorism, conspiracy, and crimes against humanity. Machar, under house arrest since March, is accused of directing the assault through coordinated military and political structures. His spokesman dismissed the case as a political witch hunt, saying the judiciary lacks independence. Civic reader Edmund Yakani warned against using a kangaroo court and urged transparent proceedings. The case threatens to unravel the 2018 peace deal between Machar and President Salva Kiir, rivals since 1990s. Their mistrusts have fueled civil wars before, leaving South Sudan vulnerable to renewed violence. Turning to the next story, Russia and Belarus launched the Zapad 2025 joint military exercises on Friday, heightening tensions on NATO's eastern flank days after Russian drones crossed into Polish airspace during strikes on Ukraine. The Zapad drills, traditionally seen as show of strength, are taking place near Belarus' Borisov region and will run until September 16. While Moscow insists the exercises are routine and not aimed at any country, NATO members Poland, Lithuania, and Latvia remain on high alert. Poland has crossed its borders with Belarus and warned of critical days, with Prime Minister Donald Tusk saying the nation faces its greatest risk of open conflict since World War II. Belarus area confirmed that the drills would involve nuclear-capable weapons, adding to regional concerns. Though analysts suggest Zapad 2025 is smaller than past iterations due to Russia's war in Ukraine, Western readers view the maneuvers as both a symbolic threat and genuine combat training. Concluding, more than 2 million people have been evacuated in Pakistan's Punjab province as deadly floods devastate the country, authorities confirmed on Thursday. Another 150,000 were displaced in Sindh, while officials warning the numbers could rise. Since late June, monsoon rains have killed over 900 people nationwide, according to the International Media Corps. The floods worsened by climate change and inadequate disaster preparedness have destroyed farmland, homes, and infrastructure, hitting hard in a country where 40% of people live below the poverty line. Many families have resisted evacuation to protect their property, forcing rescuers to conduct risky boat missions. At least 14 people died recently when rescue boats capsized in Punjab. Pakistan's National Disaster Management Authority has distributed relief supplies while the UN and the US pledged emergency aid. Authorities declared a climate emergency, with Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif calling for a 300-day plan to strengthen resilience against extreme weather disasters. Kamikaze Ghislaine, Bama Gasabo TV.
As we come to the end of news edition today, let's go with the news headlines. Rwanda condemns Israel's strike in Doha. The government to phase out the harmful refrigerant gases within the 5 days. On the international scene, the Russia-Belarus start the Zapad 2025 drills, putting NATO on the edge after Poland drone raid. Thanks for having me. Stay tuned.